Hi learners, Dr. Bunn here. Today we'll be looking at multiplying whole numbers. The key to multiplying whole numbers is to set your problem up. You're going to multiply one factor by every single digit of the other factor, and then you're going to add that together. That's taking advantage of the distributive property. So go ahead, try problems 1 and 2, and then we'll go over them together.
Please try problems 1 and 2. In part 1, question 1, you're asked to simplify 34 times 26. Simplify means to make as simple as possible, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply these two numbers. Now the key to multiplication is I'm going to take this 34 and I'm going to multiply it by each part of 26, and this is taking advantage of the distributive property. First, I'm going to multiply 34 by 6 ones, and then I'm going to multiply 34 by 2 tens. So first, by 6 ones, ones times ones is ones, 6 times 4 is 24. Now 24 is the same as 4 ones and 2 tens, so I'm going to regroup that 2 to the next column because now I'm going to multiply and get tens. Ones times tens is tens, 6 times 3 is 18, plus that 2 is 20, so that gives me 20 tens. Now 20 tens is the same as 2 hundreds, so I put a 0 in the tens column. I would regroup that 2. Now I have tens times 0 hundreds, which would give me 0 hundreds, plus that 2, so that 2 does end up coming back down. So 6 times 34 is 204. In the second part of this problem, I'm going to multiply 34 by 2 tens. Now I have all these regroups from before. I'm going to cross them off so I don't accidentally count them in again. You could, if you were writing with a pencil, which I normally would do, you could erase them. So you have a couple different options because you don't want to accidentally include them when you multiply by 2 tens. Now I shift over 1. So I want to add 1 0, which, if you think about it, makes sense. If I'm multiplying by 2 tens, I'm going to have 0 ones. Move over 1, add 1 0. So now I multiply tens times ones, which will give me tens. 2 times 4 is 8. Tens times tens, which will give me hundreds. 3 times 2 is 6. There's nothing else to multiply or carry. So now I'm going to add the answers to these two multiplication problems together. Remember, this first row is 6 times 34, and the second row is 210 times 34. But I want to figure out what 34 times 26 is in total. So I'll go ahead and add. 4 ones and 0 ones is 4, 0 tens and 8 tens is 8, and 2 hundreds plus 6 hundreds is 8 hundreds. So I have a final answer of 884. In problem number 2, you're asked to solve 506 times 23. Now the key to standard algorithm multiplication is to multiply 506 by each part of 23. So I'm going to multiply 506 by 3 ones, then 506 times 2 tens, and then I'll add those answers together. When I do this, I'm taking advantage of the distributive property. So first, I'm going to multiply 506 by 3 ones. Ones times ones is ones. 6 times 3 is 18. So I write an 8 in. Now, 18 ones is the same as 8 ones and 10 ones, and that 10 ones I'm going to regroup so I have 110. Because now, when I multiply ones times tens, I'll have tens. Ones times tens is tens, 3 times 0 is 0, but then I have that 1 that I regrouped from before, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. So I have 110. Ones times hundreds is hundreds, 3 times 5 is 15 hundreds, which is the same as having 500 and those 1000, which is the same as 1000. So I'm going to regroup that one. Now here I would do ones times thousands. There's nothing there, so I end up just bringing that 1 down. So I know that 506 times 3 ones is 1518. Now I'm not done. I still have these 2 tens. So I have 2 tens, I move over 1, I add 1 0, because that allows me to start in the tens position. Tens times ones is tens. Now before I write anything else down, I want to go ahead and cross off my regroup carries from before because I don't want to accidentally count them in. So you can cross them off, you can erase them if you're using a pencil, which is honestly what I would recommend. I'm only using a marker so it's easier for you to see. So back to the problem. I shifted over 1, I added 1 0. I'm starting in the tens position. 10 times 1 is tens, perfect. 2 times 6 is 12, that's 12 tens. So I write down the 2, and then 10 tens is the same as 100. So I'm going to regroup that 1 to the next position, because when I multiply tens times tens, I'll have hundreds. 2 times 0 is 0, plus that 1 gives me 1. And then tens times hundreds is thousands. 2 times 5 is 10, so that's 10,000, which would give me a 0 in the thousands position. I would regroup that 1. It ends up coming down because I have 2 times nothing there. So plus that 1, I have a 1 in the 10,000s position. I'm going to go ahead and add all these place values together. 8 ones and 0 ones is 8. 110 and 210 is 310. 500 and 100 is 600. 1,000 and 0,000 is 1,000. I have that 10,000. So I have a final answer of 11,638. Please pause your video and try problems 3 and 4. In part 2, question number 3, you're asked to solve 878 times 126. Now the key to multiplication for standard algorithm multiplication is to take advantage of the distributive property. So I'm going to multiply 878 by each part of 126. First, I'll multiply by 6 ones, then I'll multiply by 2 tens, then I'll multiply by 100, then I'll add those 3 answers together to get the final answer. So let's start. First, I have 6 ones times 878. Ones times ones is ones. 6 times 8's 48. So I have in the ones position, and I'm going to carry the 4 from 40. Next I have ones times tens. Ones times tens will give me tens. 7 times 6 is 42 tens, plus the 4 tens I regrouped is 46 tens. So I have 6 tens, and then 40 tens would give me 4 hundreds. Next I have ones times hundreds. 6 times 8 is going to give me 48, plus the 4 is 52, so that's 52 hundreds, which gives me 2 hundreds, and 50 hundreds is the same as 5,000. So I regroup to the next position over, which will be thousands. I notice when I would go to multiply, there's nothing here. 6 times nothing is 0 thousands, plus that 5 that I'll bring down gives me 5,268. So I multiplied first 878 by 6. Now I'm going to multiply 878 by 2. Noticing I'm crossing off those regroups because I don't want to accidentally count them in again. You can cross them off, you can rewrite them, whatever works best for you. So now I'm going to multiply 878 by 2 tens. I shift over one position, I add 1 0. And why that works, if I'm multiplying by 2 tens, I know I can't have any ones. So that's why I have a 0 there. I'm going to start in the tens position. Tens times ones is tens. 2 times 8 is 16. So that's 16 tens. So I put a 6 here. And then 10 tens is 100. So I'm going to put that 1 in the next column. Now that's 100. And putting it there makes sense because here, when I multiply tens by tens, I'll get hundreds. And I can add that 1 on. 2 times 7 is 14, plus that 1 gives me 15 hundreds. I'm going to put a 5 in the hundreds position, and then the 10 hundreds, I'm going to regroup to the next position because that's the same as 1,000. Tens times hundreds is thousands. 2 times 8 is 16, plus that 1 is 17. So that's 17 thousands. I put a 7 in the thousands column. The 10,000 would end up being regrouped to the next position, noting that I'm going to multiply that 6 times nothing, so I'll just end up bringing that 1 down in the end. So it goes in the next column, the 10,000s column. All right, now I'm going to multiply 878 by 100. First, I'm going to cross off the regroups. I don't want to accidentally include them. I'm multiplying by hundreds now. So I'm going to add 2 zeros, move over 2 positions, add 2 zeros. Multiply by 100, start in the 100 position. So I'm going to multiply by 100. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 7 is 7. And then 1 times 8 again is 8. That one was a little bit more straightforward. I'm going to add these 3 answers together to get my final answer. 8 ones plus 0 ones plus 0 ones is 8. 6 tens plus 6 tens is 12 tens. So that's going to be 2, carry the 1, because 10 tens is the same as 100. 100 plus 200 is 3, plus 5 is 8, plus 8 again is 1600. So I have a 6, and I carry the 1 to the next column, because 1000 is the same as 1000. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 7 is 13, plus 7 again is going to give me 20. So that's 20 thousands. So that's the same as having 0 thousands and 2 10,000s. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 8 gives me 11 10,000s. So I put the 1 here, and I would regroup that 1 to the next column, but it just ends up coming down. So I have a final answer of 110,628. In question number 4, we're asked to simplify 124 times 222. Simplify just means to make as simple as possible, so we're going to multiply because we have our multiplication dot here. Now I have my problem set up for me. I'm going to multiply 124 by each part of 222, and then I'll add those three answers together. This is taking advantage of the distributive property. So first, 124 times 2 ones. 1s times 1s is 1s. 2 times 4 is 8. 1s times 10s is 10s. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 1s times hundreds is hundreds. 2 times 1 is 2. So 2 ones times 124 is 248. Now I want to multiply by 2 tens. I move over 1. I add a 0. So I can start in the tens position. Tens times 1s is tens. 2 times 4 is 8. Tens times tens is hundreds. 2 times 2 is 4. Tens times hundreds is thousands. 2 times 1 is 2. So 2 tens times 124 is 2,480. Now I want to multiply 2 hundreds times 124. I move over 2. I add 2 zeros so I can start in the hundreds position. Hundreds times 1s is hundreds. 2 times 4 is 8. Hundreds times 10 is 1,000. 2 times 2 is 4. And then hundreds times hundreds is going to give me 10,000. 2 times 1 is 2. I can go ahead and add each of these three answers together. 8 1s plus 0 1s plus 0 1s is 8. 4 tens plus 8 tens is 12 tens. So that's 2 tens, and then I regroup 1 10 to the hundreds column. 100 plus 200 is 300, plus 400 is 700, plus 800 is 1,500. So I'll put a 5 in the hundreds column and regroup a 1 because 1,000 is the same as 1,000. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7, and that's 7,000. And then I have 2 10,000. So I bring that down for a final answer of 27,528. Please pause your video and try problems 5 and 6. In part 3, question number 5, you're asked to simplify 8,899 times 111. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this problem up. So I have 8,899 times 111. And in order to solve, I'm going to multiply 8,899 by each part of 111. First, I'm going to multiply by 1, 1. 1s times 1s is 1s. 9 times that 1 gives me 9. 1s times 10s is 10s. 1 times 9 is 9. So we have 9 tenths. 1s times hundreds is hundreds. 1 times 8 is 8. And then 1s times thousands is thousands. 1 times 8 is 8. So if I multiply 1 by 8,899, it makes sense. I get 8,899. Now I move over. I'm multiplying by 110. Shift over 1. I add 1 0. And that allows me to start in the tens position. Tens times 1s is tens. 1 times 9 is 9. Tens times tens is hundreds. 1 times 9 is 9. And if you keep things lined up, you will fall into the right position. Tens times hundreds is thousands, 1 times 8 is 8, and then tens times thousands is 10,000s, 1 times 8 is 8. Now multiplying by 100, I shift over 2, I add 2 zeros, and that allows me to start in the hundreds position. Hundreds times ones is hundreds, 1 times 9 is 9. You're probably seeing a pattern here. Hundreds times 10 is thousands, 1 times 9 is 9. Hundreds times hundreds is 10,000s, 1 times 8 is 8. And then hundreds times thousands is 100,000s, 1 times 8 is 8. I'm going to go ahead and add each of these positions together. 9 ones plus 0 ones plus 0 ones is 9. I add my tens. 9 10 and 9 10 is 18 tens, which is the same as saying 8 tens and 10 tens gives me 100, so I'm going to regroup that one. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 9 is 18, plus 9 again is 27. So that's 27 hundreds. So I'm going to put a 7 in the hundreds position and then regroup that 2. 2 and 8 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 9 gives me 27. So it's 27 thousands. So that's 7 thousands. And that 20 I can regroup because it's like having 2 10,000s. 2 and 8 is 10, plus 8 is 18. So that's 18 10,000s. So I write the 8 and regroup that 10 there. 1 plus 8 is 9. So that gives me 987,789. In question number 6, you're asked to solve 3,000 times 9,234. Noting that I have a multiplication dot, still means multiplication. So I'm going to set up my problem. I have 3,000 times 9,234. And I'm going to multiply 3,000 by each part of 9,234. So first I'm going to multiply by 4 ones. Ones times ones is ones. 4 times 0 is 0. Ones times tens is tens. 4 times 0 is 0. Ones times hundreds is hundreds. Notice I just naturally end up in the next position. 4 times 0 is 0. Ones times thousands is thousands. 4 times 3 is 12,000, which would be like 2. And that 1 would end up carried to the next position. I'm going to go ahead and write that in. Now I multiply by 3 tens. Move over 1, add 1 0, and that allows me to start in the tens position. Tens times ones is 10, so we start again. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Tens times thousands is 10,000s. 3 times 3 is 9. All right. Now I want to multiply by 200. I shift over 2. I add 2 zeros. And I know some people have been told put an X there, leave it blank. I like putting zeros. It helps me keep track of where everything is. And in fact, I have an amount of 0. So if I'm multiplying by 200, I'm not going to have any ones and I won't have any tens. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. And then I have 100 times 1,000 will give me 100,000. Perfect. and 2 times 3 is 6. So that's 600,000. Now, last I want to multiply by 9,000. I shift over 3. I add 3 zeros, so I start in the thousand position. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 0 is 0. And 9 times 0 is 0. Here I have 1,000 times 1,000. 1,000 times 1,000 is going to give me 1,000,000. And then 9 times 3 is 27. So that would be 27 million. And now I can go ahead and add up all my positions. 0, 0, 0, 0 is 0. And again, 0, 0, 0, 0, I have 0 tens. 0, 0, 0, 0, I have 0 hundreds. 2 plus 0, 0, 0 gives me 2,000. In the 10,000, 1 plus 9 is 10. So I'm going to write a 0 and then go ahead and carry that 1. In the 100,000 column here, 1, that regroup, that carried 1, plus 6 is 7. And then I have just a 7 and just a 2 that comes down. So my final answer, when it gets really big, I do like to put some commas in. My final answer is 27,702,000.
Hi learners, great job today. Remember, the key to multiplying whole numbers is to multiply every single digit of one factor by the other factor, taking advantage of the distributive property, noting that when you shift over from multiplying by tens, you're not going to have any ones, so you can put a 0 in the ones position. If you multiply by hundreds, you won't have any ones and you won't have any tens. Shift over 2, add 2 zeros, and so on. And then combining all of those multiplication problems together to get your final answer. Great job today, and I will see you next time.